All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down the modern service business playbook for 2026. We're going to bridge the gap between the invisible world, digital marketing data and automated bookings, and the gritty, high-stakes physical safety protocols out there on the actual job site. It's honestly a fascinating look at what it really takes to run a successful and safe operation these days. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with winning the digital lead, then talk about the need for speed and automating your bookings. After that, we'll shift gears to physical job site hazards, and finally, wrap up with equipment and chemical safety. Kicking things off with Section 1, winning the digital lead, and how to compete in a booming market. The stakes here are absolutely massive. We are talking about a U.S. home services market that exceeds $524 billion annually. Think about that number for a second. Plus, data shows that 77% of millennials are planning a major home project in the next 5 years. So what does this mean? It means there is plenty of room for your business to grow and grab a piece of that massive pie, but only if you adapt to how these modern customers are actually searching. And the shift in how homeowners actually find you is wild. While 98% of consumers search online before hiring anyone, a whopping 35% are now using AI tools like ChatGPT or Google Gemini for product discovery. They're asking things like, hey, who's the best plumber near me? That completely dwarfs the 13.6% who still turn to traditional search first. Seriously, if your business relies strictly on old-school SEO, you're already losing visibility to your competitors. Moving right along to Section 2, the need for speed, and exactly why your responsiveness dictates your revenue. Here is the crucial point. A staggering 97% of homeowners say your response speed, along with transparent pricing, directly influences whether they hire you. This isn't just some minor tiebreaker, it's the deciding factor. Before they've even seen your work or compared your price, they've already formed an opinion about you. For most trades, the job is literally won or lost before you even roll a truck. Now, when you do reach out, phone calls remain your absolute most valuable lead. In fact, 60% of customers prefer to call a business after finding them online. But here's the kicker. 86% of consumers flat out ignore unknown callers. Only 14% will pick up immediately. Think about what that means. If you're following up on a lead or an estimate and you pop up as an unidentified caller, that's just a warm lead quietly walking out the door. You absolutely have to identify yourself on caller ID. So let's say everything goes right. Your digital marketing is humming along perfectly. Your caller ID is totally set up. They want to hire you. But this raises a really critical question, one that honestly costs service businesses millions every single year. Are you even awake to take their booking? Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, automating your bookings to capture that 24/7 demand. This is exactly why automation is non-negotiable these days. The data reveals that 41% of jobs booked online happen after standard business hours, and a huge chunk of that demand actually hits between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. I mean, homeowners dealing with a busted formis or a massive leak aren't sitting around waiting for your office to open at 8 a.m. If you're relying solely on manual phone scheduling, you're literally leaving money on the table while you sleep. But you can totally solve this after-hours gap by setting up a seamless 4-step online booking process. First, the customer just selects their service and time. Second, the system automatically checks your real-time availability, syncing right up with your staff's calendars so you never double book. Third, they enter their details and securely pay, whether that's a deposit or the full amount. And finally, boom, the system sends an instant automated confirmation. The whole thing takes less than a minute and requires exactly 0 staff intervention. And letting your software handle the scheduling unlocks another massive benefit. Sending out automated text and email reminders as the appointment gets closer can actually reduce those incredibly costly customer no-shows by up to 90%. Text messages get a 98% read rate, making them just insanely effective at making sure the job actually happens. All right, let's pivot from the digital world to Section 4, physical job site hazards, dealing with the gritty reality of service work. Because whether it's plumbing, construction, or pressure washing, the physical hazards on these sites are intense. Take operating a pressure washer, for instance. 4,000 psi of water pressure is a potentially deadly force. It's enough pressure to literally tear an eyeball right from its socket. No joke. That is exactly why you must wear rigorous personal protective equipment, or PPE. We're talking heavy-duty rain gear, rubber boots with metatarsal guards, heavy-duty waterproof gloves, and a full-faced shield. No exceptions. There's another major hazard we need to talk about: the extreme danger of hot water.
Data from remanufacturing shows just how rapidly scalding occurs. At 131 degrees, it takes about 5 minutes to get a permanent burn. But bump that up to 140 degrees, and a permanent burn takes just 25 seconds. Now, if you increase the temperature to just 149 degrees, you suffer permanent second and third degree burns in just 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Because of this insanely rapid escalation in danger, extreme precaution is absolutely crucial to protect yourself and your crew. Safety guidelines strictly mandate that you should never operate these heater systems above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. On top of that, if a safety system fails and the heating system stays on without water flow, it can actually create a life-threatening steam explosion. You really have to be hyper-aware of the physical limits of your equipment. Which leads us to our final section, Section 5, Equipment and Chemical Safety, protecting your team and your assets. Before you even start driving to the site, the contrast between a dangerously released trailer hitch and a securely locked and pinned hitch is night and day. Towing massive equipment means you have to perform a complete, thorough walk-around. You've got to check those hitch chains, verify tire pressure, and ensure that the pin and clip are properly securing the insert right into the receiver. And here's something people often forget. Because heavy-duty trailers create a massive amount of vibration on the road, fasteners can and will easily come loose. It is an absolute mandatory safety rule to re-torque your trailer lug nuts to 110 foot-pounds every 50 to 100 miles after purchase. Ignoring this could literally lead to catastrophic equipment failure right in the middle of the highway.
Once you actually arrive safely on site, chemical safety becomes absolutely paramount. It's terrifying how easily common household chemicals can become deadly. For example, fire department guidelines clearly show that mixing bleach with ordinary vinegar creates toxic chlorine gas, which causes severe breathing problems. Even worse, mixing bleach with ammonia, something found in a ton of common dish soaps, creates a highly toxic gas called chloramine, causing shortness of breath and chest pain. The active ingredient in chlorine bleach, sodium hypochlorite, is an extremely powerful oxidizer. And oxidation reactions are highly corrosive. They can cause irreversible eye damage. Because of this, you absolutely must follow strict handling rules. Always wear wraparound safety glasses, use thick rubber or nitrile gloves, and make absolutely certain that you mix these chemicals strictly outdoors or in highly ventilated areas to avoid any toxic vapor buildup. As we wrap this up, there's a powerful quote regarding the 2026 service landscape. It basically says the businesses that look back on 2026 as a turning point will be the ones connecting their marketing spend to real outcomes and responding fast enough to make it count. Ultimately, while your stringent physical safety practices and chemical handling protocols protect your very life and your team's lives, mastering your digital responsiveness, tracking your marketing ROI, and automating those bookings is what actually protects your livelihood. They completely go hand in hand.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you look at your own operations. If your service business were to vanish tomorrow, would it be because you missed the invisible AI booking shift or because you ignored the gritty physical safety protocols right in front of you? Mastery of both is really the only way forward. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.